Welcome to Creating a Case training. This training is geared toward all circuit clerk staff. If you haven't watched the Screening the Member or Adding a Case videos, hit pause and go watch them now. Circuit clerks utilize a computer system known as the Missouri Automated Child Support System, or MACSS. I cannot stress the importance of your data entry work enough. Accuracy in entering information into MACSS is vital in all job specializations. Let me repeat that. Accuracy in MACSS is vital to child support and is a key expectation for your work. In this training, we will focus on opening the case, adding a dependent paternity status, updating Impro 1 for the dependent, viewing the case status, moving the case out of initiation, and diary notes. The information shared with you in this training can be located on the CS training page. Let me guide you through step-by-step instructions on how to access this information before proceeding. From the DSS homepage, we will hover over Divisions and select Family Support Division. Then we will hover over Programs and select Child Support. Once we're on the Child Support homepage, the quick links are on the right-hand side of the page. Under the quick links is the CS training page. Click on that link. Once you get to the Family Support Division training page, hover over Program Training and select Circuit Clerk. Once you're on the Circuit Clerk training page, access the Training tab at the top. Scroll down, and you will find Creating a Case in MACSS. This section, Section 3, Case Initiation, will lead you directly to the Case Initiation training page, where you will find step-by-step instructions on how to complete the MACSS activities we discuss in this training. Detailed information on any of the screens we visited can be found in the Screen Index, located alongside other resources discussed in the training, under the References section. You can practice the steps as we go along in this training. You can pause or replay any screen if you get lost or would like to try the step again. Let's get started. We left off the Adding a Case video with updating the CP and NCP addresses. The next step in the case initiation process is to move the case to an open status. During this process, MACSS will search for possible duplicate cases. An example are cases that are already in the system that may have one or more members in common with those added to this new case. Prior to opening the case, all member demographic information should be added or updated. The Case Screening Screen, or C-Screen, is very important in the case initiation process. You need to ensure that everything done so far is correct. If a case is opened and a duplicate case is later found, problems arise. The case merge process must then take place, and this can be a complicated process that should only be done when absolutely necessary. So check your work for accuracy before moving the case from suspended to open. C-Screen provides a listing of possible duplicate cases in MACSS. We do not want two cases open in MACSS with the same members in the same role on each. This is also the screen that allows you to move the case from suspend to open. When C-Screen is accessed, MACSS looks for the CP with either the same alleged father, NCP, or dependent. If a case exists with the CP and same dependent, the dependent field will show a Y. If a case exists with the CP and the same alleged father or NCP, but different dependents, the NCP field will show a Y. If there is a case with the same CP, alleged father or NCP, and dependent, both the NCP and dependent fields will show a Y. If there is a case or cases in MACSS that is a possible duplicate, it will be displayed in the middle of the C-Screen screen. If there is indeed a duplicate case and you should verify the members to confirm, then our member screening process has failed. There would now be multiple DCNs, MMs, and case IDs. If multiple DCNs exist, contact the CS Help Desk for the resolution. Their email can be found in the user guide under the Training Resources tab, right here. If there is a duplicate case, select it, S in the select field, type a U on the command line, and press enter. This indicates that you are accepting the existing case and canceling the request to open the case that you have created. It may be necessary to merge multiple member or case situations. Contact FRS if you need assistance with a member or case merge. The FRS email can also be found in the user guide on the Training Resources tab of the Circuit Clerk training page. If the existing case is accepted, disregard the suspended case ID that you have created. You would then proceed with the remainder of the case initiation process on the existing case to verify, update, or add information as appropriate. A case or cases may be listed that are not an exact duplicate, but with other situations such as multiple allegations, presumed versus alleged, or the need to add a child to an existing case. I'm going to go back to the training page and show you underneath case initiation where this resource for special circumstances exists so that you can review that when one or more cases are listed on C-Screen. Special circumstances right here will give you more information. If there is no existing case, the middle of the screen is blank, the message at the bottom of the screen is no other case matches screened case. You are then ready to move the case from suspend to open. We will open the same case we added in the adding a case section. And remember, you can practice the steps as we go along in this training. Let's get started. We are still on our case on Camel, so we're going to go to the home screen or home line and type CSCRN and press enter. And we do see here that no other case matches the screened case, which is good. We want that. So we are going to type a U on the command line and verify that there is a Y in the move case from suspended to open field. And there is, and then we will press enter. As you can see, we received the message case screening complete. If a duplicate case does display on the lower portion of this screen, verify that the members are the same as on the case you are adding. If the members match, you will type that U and then select so that you can accept the case that's already out there. Instead of continuing to create your suspended case. Make sure to make a note of the duplicate case ID. If the duplicate case is displayed on the lower portion of the screen and it is not a duplicate of the one you're adding, follow the instructions that we just went through to actually move it from suspended to open. The next topic we'll cover is the dependent's paternity status. Paternity status of the child or children must be added to the dependent paternity detail or DEPPD screen. The information on this screen determines whether MACSS will move the case to the appropriate function when the case initiation is completed. The order should indicate whether a legal finding of paternity has been made, particularly if the parents were not married. If there is a legal finding of paternity, the paternity status code will be a legal code. And I'm going to reference back to these references down here. Paternity status reference codes. This is actually going to explain all of the reference codes we have available to enter on the DEPPD screen, so that you can look at when and why a code would be used. During the case initiation process, when you inquire on the dependent's DCN, you will receive the message, paternity result was not found. That response is correct because the information has not yet been entered. You may receive the message successfully displayed. This means the dependent paternity information has already been entered and just needs to be checked for accuracy. On the DEPPD screen, the fields paternity status, EST tracking code, and date EST are very important in allowing MACSS to send the case to the next appropriate function. Refer to the DEPPD screen in the screen index located on the training page under the case initiation references for additional screen information. Please note that if the child is born of a marriage, the date EST, or the paternity EST date, as it shows here, and that's the date the paternity was established, is the child's date of birth, unless there is a court order that says the husband is not the father. Let's assume we have information indicating an L3R code is appropriate to add to the dependent paternity information. We will add that now. I'm going to go over to MACSS, type DEPPD on the command line, and press enter. And since I don't have this member written down, I'm going to go to CAMEL and select my child and then do a DEPPD and enter. So I can see that the paternity result was not found. We will then type an A on the command line and enter the correct paternity status, prompting if we need to. We knew we were going to add the L3R, but here is a full list. And we'll select L3R and enter to return back to DEPPD. Enter a Y or no for yes or no in the born out of wedlock field as appropriate. Enter the correct establishment tracking code in the S tracking code field. And we can prompt to say ESTA is what we'd like to pick because we want to consider it established with this code. And then we will say the date was 05/01/2024. And then we'll press enter to successfully add. The birth certificate in file yes or no field will be set to yes or no depending on whether the child was born in Missouri. Set this field to a Y if a copy of the birth certificate is in the case file. As part of the reporting of CS's paternity establishment percentage, which is the PEP score, it is necessary to update MPRO1 with the place of birth information for the dependent. Let's add that information now. Type MPRO1 on the command line and press enter. Verify your DCN or MM of your child. Place a U on the command line, tab to the place of birth, and enter city and state if known. It is okay to just enter the state for the birth of the dependent. And then we will press enter and receive the message successfully updated. To verify the case is opened, access CSTAT, or the case status screen, which provides the names of the CP and alleged father or NCP, indicates the primary worker in office, the primary function, case status, and other information. If the case status is still suspended, SUSP, it is necessary to return to C-screen and move the case out of the suspended status. You can see here where before the case status is suspended, and then after we complete our C-screen action, the case status is now open. Let's check our training case. I'm going to type CSTAT on the command line and press enter. Verify the case ID. The message successfully displayed will display at the bottom. And then we will check the case status to be certain that it shows open, which for this case it did. It converted to open whenever we completed our action on C-screen. If not, follow the steps to move the case from suspended to open. CSTAT also provides a place to record marriage and/or divorce information for the parents of the child or children on the case. If this information is found or becomes known, enter the information as appropriate on CSTAT. Let's enter a marriage and a divorce date for this case. We would type CSTAT on the command line, but we are already there. So we're going to put a U on the command line and tab to the marriage date and enter the marriage date. And then we're going to tab down to the divorce date and enter the divorce date. Press enter and successfully updated will display. Before the case is moved out of initiation, it is necessary to enter other information into MACSS. Information must be entered as available following the instructions in the other sections of this training page, especially member demographics and support orders and obligations. After all information has been entered in MACSS, you must move the case out of the initiation function using the case initiation and status, or cases screen. This will allow MACSS to move the case into the appropriate function. Example would be paternity, establish, enforcement, or modification. When the case is moved out of initiation, MACSS automatically moves the case to the correct function based on the information you have added during the case initiation process. The final official part of the case initiation process is to move the case out of initiation on cases. So let's try that now. We're on CSTAT, so we're going to type cases on the command line and press enter. Verify our case ID, and then type a U on the command line. Tabbing down to move the case out of initiation, put a Y in the field. And then we're going to enter the appropriate level of service, or leave it blank if the applicant is requesting full services. And then we're going to enter the appropriate parental relation status in the parental relation status field. And here it's already carried over from when we entered it on Impro 1. It shows that it is divorced. Any other information that needs to be updated on this screen should be done at this time, and then we will press enter to process the update. The message successfully displayed will display, and then we can check the primary function field to ensure that the case has been assigned to the appropriate function. You can actually see the function field right here. It has moved into establishment. Diary notes are one of the most important parts of the process. It is wise to document case opening and all other case actions taken on diary. A good narrative will follow the case only if good diary notes are documented. To learn how to add diary notes, visit Section 5, Diary, under the MACSS Basics header under the Training tab of the Circuit Clerk training page. Thanks for following along as we covered how to add a case in MACSS and the steps involved in initiating a case. Keep in mind the resources offered in today's training are crucial in developing your skills in MACSS, and I highly encourage you take the time to review them and bookmark them for future use. These instructions can also be found on the Circuit Clerk training page, specifically in the Creating a Case section. I hope this training helped you better understand how to complete the case initiation process. Thanks for watching.